Good evening. Thank you all for being here. And it's going to warm your hearts. I know it. It's really a pleasure to have iSING Suzhou, Opera in China, here tonight, and a kind of preview to a very special series of programs that's coming up, but also some really fabulous music and a project that's so inspiring. So we're really delighted. And I'd like to thank our sponsors tonight. And I'll bring them up in just a minute. But first I want to introduce Martha Liao, who is here, who has been the president of the Asian Performing Arts Council. And really a true inspiration. So I'll be right back. I got my notes on the
Okay. Hello, everyone. I can't see you. I'm not used to be on stage. Anyway, thank you for coming. I just have three important points to tell you about what this project is all about. This is a preview of our concerts on January 6th in Philadelphia and on January 7th at Lincoln Center. And the excitement is that our iSING International Young Artists Festival, I'm sure a lot of you know about it, and it has been around for 10 years now. So it's very exciting that we have come to today that our singers will be singing with the Philadelphia Orchestra. So that is my first excitement. When we got this assignment, it was, I almost fell off my chair. So now we have to prepare for this, and that's very challenging for a small organization like ours. And the second point I want to tell you is that the title of our concert is called Echoes of Ancient Tang Poems. So the Tang poems, I'm sure most of you know, how should I describe? Precious cultural heritage that should belong to the world, not just China. Because Tang poems have a stature really comparable in Chinese literature, comparable to Shakespeare in the English literature. So with this, we are very honored to be able to have this concert for everybody. How we did it? I will go back to year 2020. That's the beginning of our pandemic. And we decided to have our first competition for composers. So we call it composition competition. And we spent 7 months laboring over what poems to choose. And then we have a jury panels picking winners from 100 and some applicants of young composers from around the world. In the end, we end up with 14 young singers from 6 countries composing music to a selection of Tang poems. And the result is what you are going to hear on September 7th. We will tease you a little bit with a little bit of music today. So that competition really was a lot of work, 7 months, and we thought we did a great job because we did everything online. We didn't have to see anybody, but online we can do all the competition, all the jury decision, and everything. But after that, to our surprise, we were invited by our Suzhou Cultural and Arts Center and they asked us, why are you not doing your world premiere this year? And Tian and I look at each other and say, how could we do it? You know, this is the pandemic. But anyway, we did it. In November, starting in October, we brought in to China over 10 singers. I don't remember the exact numbers now. Singers to, they had to go through quarantine, of course, and then we had to train them and coach them, and then rehearsal, and in the end, we did a world premiere. And on January 7th, you're going to hear the same concert, but this time it's going to at Alice Tully Hall with the Philadelphia Orchestra. So that's my second point. And my third is, and I will show you a little documentary that we shortened it to 30 minutes so that you can see how we started doing this project. How did we put the singers together? How did they come into China? And during the pandemic, it's a lot of tension, as you can imagine, because anyone who got sick, we're going to have to cancel the whole project. Anyway, we did it, and so I want you to enjoy 30 minutes of this documentary called The Moon and I. Okay, here's Rachel.
So again, I just want to thank the U.S.-China Cultural Institute in memory of Shirley Young and CGCC for their generous support this evening. And let's watch a little bit of the film. Then we'll have a chance to hear some music, have a panel, hear a little bit more about the amazing work these guys did. I can't believe the rest of us were in lockdown, and you were like ramping it all up, and such inspiring work. And warm greetings from our colleagues at the consulate and the cultural council, Chen Chen Mei. So please enjoy the film.
I have to have my tortillas. 饭吃的越来越多。然后越来越高兴。
The children is a young life.
越来越紧张，越来越疯狂。举杯邀明月，对影成三人。
So that's how I memorize, is by writing it out loud.
And we have to really every day, I think, we have to bring the best to the table because I have tremendous privilege to be here.
It was a really interesting festival because it's so international.
中国是怎么来唱更好？
就像任何一门音乐，任何一个国家的音乐被所有的人，所有学音乐的人接受。
外国特产家可以参与中国的原创歌剧，用中文演唱，本身这件事情让人很感动。
So I am leaving Parma right now. It's October 16th.
Here I am, waiting for my Uber to take me to JFK to fly to Shanghai for iSING 10 Palms.
I just left the place where I stay in Paris, and I'm going to the airport. I'm excited and happy to start the trip.
Finally, I met Yana, so I'm really glad that we will travel together.
Yeah, we're going to Istanbul, and we're going to stay there 18 hours.
We just did a stop in South Korea right now, and then we're gonna go to Shanghai.
And so we were transported to another, it's like a convention center. It's a very large room. I'm here with some of my colleagues, that's Anna, Maureen, and Holly, who are at this point going to be taken to a location, another hotel that is closer to Suzhou. All right, just got to the second hotel closer to Suzhou. This is a resort. This is very nice.
This is a beautiful closet. I love the carvings on it. We'll go in that later. I feel so lucky to be able to come outside every day. Just listen to those birds. Can you hear them?
Hi, we got neighbors over there. Milita, I'm good.
Happy World Opera Day from my quarantine in Suzhou. Cheers.
I am in eager anticipation of my food. It's dinner!
Today, my dinner surprised me a lot. It looks like so rich and so delicious.
So, first off, we have this beautiful forest green dress. This is one of my very favorites.
Right, I'm getting out of quarantine tomorrow. I'm so excited that it's almost done, and I can't wait to see my colleagues.
It is the last morning of quarantine. I'm getting out of here in just about an hour and a half. I'm gonna miss the birds every morning. I'm gonna miss the view of the lake. I don't think I'm gonna have a balcony in my new place.
So here we go. This is home for about the next month. This is awesome. This is really nice. Good morning. Don't you feel like your friend?
哎呦，走着我嘞，给我急的。罩子。哎呦，要吗？我上哪去了？我都热死了。罩子。
所有的这些外国歌唱家14天以后呢，他们还要经过14天的健康管理的隔离，所以我们就把2台钢琴搬到他们住的这个旅馆，在旅馆里，我们的专家组的这些专家们训练他们。Bravi。
不要太多。
完了。
Thank you. We'll see you.
And Martha and Tim, we just want to say thank you. It's not just a trip for us. It's really something special. You know, it's what we live off. I mean, we're hungry for it. So thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for being healthy. You guys are lucky. So let's hope our luck will go on until November 24th.
Yeah.
Hope you guys will study your Tang poem and understand the meaning, because the Tang poem to us, in the Chinese culture, is like Shakespeare to the West, the top of of Chinese culture. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming. And
Yeah, now the time is right. Da di da da da, da di da da da. You have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 times a day. I only did 1 day.
诗词是比较难唱的，因为它的寓意很深，对中国歌手来讲都是有难度的。那但是呢，好的就是说，跟中国歌手比呢，他们的训练比较完整。
See, come out with the same thing. Yeah, we just go the longer or the wider. So now we want the longer.
Like Tian is like that.
Exactly. 一个甜，一个卷。
Okay.
那他们特别认真严谨，因为他们要学一个东西吧，你给他一个歌，他们学得很快。然后呢，他们上网真的特认真去查唱这个歌什么意思啊，什么，就是他很花功夫。
First has to sit.
Yes, of course.
Actually, no, Igor has to do.
Yeah, here. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
我负责的是纯唱的部分，这是很多人需要我去这样整理。那这个是一个作曲比赛，新的音乐创作、声乐作品。我还让他们感觉到是在跳舞，还要让他们在觉得是有竹林里面的竹啊，在里面在风中摇动，还要把那个境界抓出来。虽然难，你不能让观众觉得说这个事情很难，他唱的很难，他学习的很难，对不对？观众不想看到这个难度，观众想要看到是享受那个境界。
Martha, please come here. 这是我们这个iSING 艺术节的总监。
好吧，OK，拜拜。
Welcome.
欢迎大家。
And don't get sick.
不要。
Do not get sick. Everybody, always wear mask. 戴口罩，洗手，尽量，除了唱歌，你可以拿开，真的不能够病。我们有一个人病，我们整个戏就完了。
I would like those Chinese boys to introduce themselves.
My name
We want to hear you.
My name, okay.
My name is Chen Wei. I come from Wuhan. I'm 21 years old. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Yang Siguang, and we all come Wuhan. But don't be afraid, that's a safe place right now.
Tell them your name and
where you from?
Of course, how old?
No.
My name is Igor. I'm from Ukraine and
from Ukraine.
Yeah, from Ukraine. And yeah, very tough.
Yeah.
大家好，我是亚楠，我是俄罗斯人，我是33岁。
All right, let's try to run through. 欲穷千里目，更上一层楼。与君歌一曲，请君为我倾耳听。
And it was a really interesting festival because it's so international. It's not just Americans come to China. I mean, even here we have Nicaragua / Italian, Ukrainian, Russian, American, Mexico, all over the world, you know. And that for me is really interesting. You hear different languages being spoken, you get to learn different cultures, and I think it opens your mind not just to be so, you know, I know one thing, one country, one culture, that's it.
Ding da 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 boom da da boom da 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 ba di da di Yeah, pretend that you are strong.
我有一个地方我想改一下。
The teams are incredible, and you get really good training, and it opens up singing world to something that you had never experienced before.
万莫浮于水，看着我经过。万莫浮于水，看着我经过。3, 4，这死累了。OK，就这样。
现在都吃过你做的饭。
要是我们第1、2年我们在北京的时候，那可吃得多了。
I like cooking almost every day.
So tonight we are making Spanish pie. We call it Spanish, but it's a Serbian recipe. In Spain we don't have this thing. This is corn flour, and we have pepper, red pepper, pickles, pepperoni, and cheese.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm good at something, you know.
This is the most important vegetable for our soup.
I have to have my tortillas. Well, my parents are from Mexico. I'm from the United States, but they're Mexican. So I grew up Mexican. I had a couple of the people over, and I made Mexican food.
Es que la Mili
Después se movió.
después de la batalla.
我也不该就是先把这个就填饱了。
不会，没有吃饭。
Hello, I'm trying hot dogs. USA. This is from my mom.
Ask her for white first. Who wants white?
De la sierra morena, cielito lindo vienen bajando.
This is Americano hot dog. This is cake, Serbian cake. And this is Chinese spring roll. This is Russian pancake. We're gonna have butter and jam, real butter. And this, what is the Mexican? Quesadilla. And this is borscht. Oh. In the background, this is Catherine, what you made.
Such amazing dinner.
Don't stop. So you play guitar. Also, you fiddle my yes. I forgot it. Before you were born.
列车飞快地奔驰，车窗里灯火辉煌。A Russian song.
На позиции девушка продолжала глаза. Темная прости.
Ножкой темной тихо пойдет.
歌唱是从心到心的这种感染。有的时候你不会说他的语言，有的时候你给他唱个歌，你就已经成为一个朋友。
It really is more than just a place to sing. Like this is really becomes an international family. And the colleagues that are here, you know, some of them I've met before, others I've just seen in pictures. And so it's nice. Every time you come here, your family grows a little bit. And they always have wonderful people here.
举杯邀明月。
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
不成雪。
因为疫情的话，改变了很多事情。特别是人的这种对于艺术的看法。
The singing is not the joke, it's your whole life. The suddenly stop, you think that the life is become empty.
I made it very clear to my boss in the beginning. Singing will always come first.
In my life, I sing really rare the high quality of organization. Like one of the best I participate ever.
At iSING, you do not go through these bureaucratic processes, alone. You never do that alone.
He is the most wonderfully kind, supportive man. He and Martha, both of them. I like my aunt and uncle.
You gave us the opportunity to come back to life when we didn't know what was going to happen.
After I've been here so many times, like it's like family to me. I really miss them.
这就是我觉得iSING最 special 最特别的地方。他怎么样转化一个人？他从一个不认识中国、不会说中文，我们在他身上就忽然加了一层东西，那这人性就丰富。
To music.
上承明月，天下共此时。
春江潮水连海平，海上明月共潮生。
举杯邀明月，
对饮双丧神，海内存知己。
天涯若比邻，与君歌一曲，请君为我心儿立。
中文演唱，这个能不能成为一个潮流，这个我不知道。外国的歌唱家可以参与中国的原创歌剧用中文演唱，本身这件事情让人很感动。
Wow, I think there is a possibility of peace on earth. I mean, really. I'm just so moved by watching this and hearing these voices coming together and thinking about, collectively how we've all gone through this pandemic. Maybe it's the first time in a certain way that globally something has affected all of us, and that the vision to bring people together through music and in this way and through such daunting circumstances was realized, and so beautifully. Congratulations on both the project and the film. So one more time. Well, we have a treat. Holly Flack is here. And she's amazing. And I have a long bio, but I'm not going to read it. But I am going to tell you something about the highest note ever sung at Lincoln Center. But actually, I'm going to have her come and tell us a little bit about the experience before she actually gives us a rare moment of music. Holly.
Thank you. I am so honored to be here with you all tonight. iSING is a truly incredible organization that I am continually grateful and appreciative to be a part of. Since first traveling to China with them in 2017, they have encouraged me to grow both as an artist and as a person, and allowed me to explore and develop every facet of my vocal and performance abilities. 2020 was an unprecedented year for all of us, and for artists, it was pretty life-changing. Singers were labeled as super spreaders, and contracting COVID, also carried the possibility of lung damage. So I really couldn't do the thing that I loved most without putting myself or other people in danger. So I essentially lost my voice and sense of self, and no one could tell me when I was going to get it back until iSING called with this fantastic project. And traveling during the pandemic was a bit nerve-wracking, but there I was on an airplane with every piece of PPE that I owned, face shield, mask, goggles, scarf, fully ready to face anything we needed to if it meant having the chance to sing again. And our first adventure included the enforced quarantine, which in 2020 was 14 days in a hotel and then 14 days anywhere you chose in your city. In 2021, this turned into 28 days, which was an even bigger adventure. But as you saw, we were not given the choice of what hotel we would go to. We were told we had to go there, never leave the room, and you were randomly tested, for COVID while you're there. And honestly, the experience could not have been more enjoyable. I had a balcony, I looked out into a beautiful lush forest, these exotic birds sang beautiful songs and landed on the roof every day, and I would look them up while my dad is a big fan of birds, and I'm from Portland, Oregon, so there's lots of birds to be talked about, and I would drink my coffee and sing every day and open the window, and it was such a joy to just be outside and breathe the fresh air. And meals were delivered 3 times a day, which were incredibly delicious. So I couldn't have been happier. And once we left quarantine, it was like stepping back into a normal life again. I have never felt safer during the pandemic than I did while I was in China. Singing in this concert was the first time I had sung in 8 months. And it truly brought myself and all of us back to life. And the Tong poems are so beautiful, and they have such meaning and emotion that we can still identify with even today. And I think music itself is a universal language. No matter what you sing in, the notes themselves can reach everyone. So iSING touches the world through song, and when you're with them, you're with family. So, I am delighted to share with you my song, which includes 2 Tong poems, The Singing of Goose and The Song of Snow.
So I'd like to invite Tian Haojiang and Martha Liao to come up and give us a little insight into how did you do this? Okay, what an amazing journey, but where did you come up with this idea? iSING, and all the reverberations that project really reflects, but how did this come about? Who cooked this up? I see a lot of cooking in that film, but somebody cooked up something pretty major here.
Well, the iSING's idea started in 2011, even earlier, 2010, 011. Okay, 011. Yeah, and that year I was singing in Italy, Verdi's opera. In first day rehearsal, because I was the only Asian, so the first day rehearsal, I was asked, "Are you a Japanese?" I said, "No." "Are you a Korean?" I said, "No." "I'm a Chinese. I'm from Beijing." "Oh, Beijing. Is there opera house in Beijing? Is there symphony orchestra? Is there bel canto, voice training in the?" Yes. So actually, we talked about 20 minutes, the first break, about music, singing, opera in Beijing. And that evening, actually, Martha was in New York, so we had a long talk on the phone. I said, well, my colleagues, I hope someday I could bring them to China and to help them to understand more about Chinese culture, language. Okay, so we start to invite conductors, stage directors, coaches from the Metropolitan Opera, from different conservatories, to bring them to the conservatories in China to help train the singers. And from year 2011, we started this iSING International Young Arts Festival. So purpose are very simple. We would like to help Western young singers to learn sing in Mandarin. Mandarin is a beautiful language, and well, in this world, I don't know how many, but at least quarter of people speak this beautiful language. So we thought I could sing opera in Italian, French, German, Czech, Latin, Russian, and these many languages. Why not to help some young singers? Come to sing, to learn to sing something in Mandarin. So we started, and so this is our actually 11th year, and over 350 singers from 30 some different countries went to Suzhou once a summer and to work with it together. And then the rest, you see the movie. So that's how we started. And I told myself, I knew I would be very moved, by this documentary. But I told myself, don't get too emotional. But
You're still emotional, huh? So I'm going to go back in time a little bit, Martha. Many people have seen From Mao to the Met. But how did you fall in love, not with him, with the music? Or what, did you fall in love with him and then the music? Could you tell us, just give us a little bit of a frame on how those worlds came together, which I think sets us up to then explore further in this project?
I grew up in Hong Kong, and you know all Asian kids have to study one kind of instrument, mostly piano, violin, and I studied the piano. So I grew up with the piano, and when I went to college in Philadelphia, outside Philadelphia, I got a full scholarship because my father was only an engineer in Hong Kong, working the Hong Kong government. So he told me, if you don't get a scholarship, you don't go anywhere. So I got a full scholarship. I went to Bryn Mawr College. And there, I was very lucky. They continued to give me some money to study piano. So without any talent, I continued to study music, study piano. And there, Philadelphia Orchestra was around in Philadelphia. And as a international student, I got free tickets to go to Philadelphia Orchestra. Then, if you all remember, 1973, that was the first orchestra, Philadelphia Orchestra, went to China. And I was then already in graduate school at Penn, so I was still in Philadelphia. And so I was very excited that they went. And when they came back to Philadelphia, they gave a concert of what they did in China, and I was in the audience. So this is like 50 years ago, because next year is the 50th anniversary of their historic trip to China. So without Tian, I was always interested in music.
Okay, all right, now we're getting the nitty-gritty. But then something happened.
I think that's not the subject today, right? We don't need
Just
to
the
go
short version. All right. We don't have to go into the short version. Many of you will know that Tian Haozheng has been a major opera singer who has sung all over the world, including at the Met Opera. And we first met, I think, when you were still there. And we've done several programs here, more on your career. But what is so exciting in this new project is this coming together of culture in a really interesting way. And it's, I think what really shows to all of us is that shared passion really came through. I mean, it just came through. And I'm so glad you brought up the Philadelphia Orchestra 1973 trip to China, because this whole idea of culture as diplomacy, culture as what, I think gets us really deeply. Ping pong is good. Don't get me wrong. I like ping pong, but I will say that for me, music is something, and it's the coming together that is so beautiful.
Yes.
And what's clear from what you've just said is that it's your passion for the language and the fact that this art form that you love so dearly, opera, and I don't even feel comfortable anymore saying Western opera. It sounds so antiquated. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful art form, and now it's one that's shared in multiple languages.
Yes.
But what are the challenges are there specific challenges, being that it's a tonal language, to have opera sung in Chinese? Yeah.
Well, I think when we first started this program, we really didn't know how Mandarin, as a lyric language, whether the singers can do it. But it turned out they really can do it. You just heard Holly, and also you saw on the documentary. They really have learned that they can pick up the diction, just like they pick up other languages. So we are very happy that now, in fact, we have already, Tian have put them in some operas already. We have done some operas, and it's all in Chinese, and they came into the opera production.
And also singing Mandarin is not that easy, even for Chinese people, because we have so many dialects in China. And so when you pronounce Mandarin, it's not that easy. For example, for this project, 白日依山尽，黄河入海流。黄河. So for our Chinese friends here, probably it's so easy for you to say 黄河. But we spend the days and the weeks working with our singers. Always we say 黄河, and they say 黄河. You know, we said no, 黄河, 黄河. You know, it's very difficult. So, but it's for 11 years we have done over 40 concerts, and we have lots of friends, people to support. There are some today here, okay, and we really appreciate. Alice, we really appreciate David Chang there, and many. I would like to say this is a project is huge, and we are lacking of helps because everybody is busy. But we got some young people to help me. Today we have to thank to the phone because we can work with our team from Beijing, from Hong Kong, from Taiwan, from Europe, different countries, different cities. And so Martha said already in January 6 or 7, we have this iSING Suzhou Town Poem with Philadelphia Orchestra. With the Philadelphia Orchestra, it's a really, really honor, huge honor. We talked about 50 years ago, anniversary for Philadelphia Orchestra to visit China. And for my own experience, actually, about 20 years ago, I had my first time to sing with this great, legend, symphony orchestra in Philadelphia. I tell you, what's the feeling as a singer when I was standing there next to the conductor, when the music started, you are surrounded by what a beautiful sound, you know, all kinds of instruments. And I was, when the first sound started, before I opened my, voice, I was really in tears. It's so beautiful. So, and this is our honor, for iSING to do this huge project with them. Today, and we have a few singers here, and some singers will be singing in the chorus. We have 15 chorus, wonderful singers. Can you raise your hand? Who will be singing with us? You look back there. Great, thank you. And so, that's all I would like to say, right?
Also, we have singers who are iSingers here, right? Who went through our program.
Previous singers.
Yes,
Yay,
there's iSinger.
okay.
Hey, once again. Yes.
Yes, that's a great idea. So anybody who is
Bravo,
either an
bravo.
alumni or in the chorus, if you would
Bravo.
stand.
And you don't believe it when that gentleman, tall guy, joined us, and he was just a student, something like 19, 20 years old. Today he's singing at the Metropolitan Opera. So.
And I'm looking for the Met Opera to be doing one of these new pieces. But I have to ask, I have to go back for a minute, because this project, in addition to the amazing singers you've brought together and trained, you had the incredibly inspiring idea of having new composers. Yeah. So you're not only introducing the idea of physically singing the music, but having new people from across the globe, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about the that process? I think it was a competition.
It's a competition, but it took 7 months, but we could do it online. So, you know, you can put in some kind of a app that's called Yap or something. Then you can put your project on, and everybody can go online and see that, oh, here's a composition competition that I could apply. So they apply. So we receive everything online. We receive 108 applicants. And in the end, we chose 14. So, you know, and when they send in their application, together with their name, you know, how old they are, which country they're from, and also they send in MP3, meaning they send in their composition. So you can hear it online. So everything is done online. And, but it's a lot of work, 108, can you imagine?
And did they, what language did they know the poems? How did you do that?
Okay, we first have it only, we want them to send in the MP3 of their own composition, not with the tongue poems, so that the judges, the jury, they can hear whether this person write good music for voices. And then when we pick, that's a semi-final, they pick these singers. And then, not singers, sorry, I'm so used to having singers, composers, that they will, then we will ask them, we have these poems. Now that's a lot of work, the poem side, because the poems are in Chinese. First, there are hundreds of tongue poems. We have to pick only 15, 16, and so this is also, Tian also rounded up a lot of scholars, historians from Columbia University, from China, Beijing University, from, you know, all places, again, online, to discuss what poem should we choose. The one that you just heard by Holly is by a 7-year-old composer. A poet from the Tang Dynasty. It's about goose. So it's a lot of fun, and he was only 7. And then with that, we have to have all the poems translated, and each word by word, we have to put down what's the meaning, and what does it sound like. And then we give also background of the poet, English, and also the period, all the explanation for the composers. Of course, today, they can also Google a lot of these things and find out themselves. But we did a lot of preparation for them first. So they probably will find a Chinese colleague or your classmate so that they can hear the sound, and then they compose.
It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal, I can tell you, I also went through the lockdown here in New York. I didn't do anything like this. I'm just so inspired by the work and love that you've put into this. And the other thing that really I think is so powerful is it's a new generation. You've really nurtured a new generation that's global, both in terms of singers and composers, and actually the academics too, to imagine, oh, here's a new way that we can come together. That I can think of no other project that does this. It's quite astounding.
We were lucky.
I don't think it was just luck. I think you are truly inspired and a true gift to the world.
I try to cook for them a lot so that they don't go out to eat.
I just wash dishes, yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best with these 2 upcoming concerts, and I know that the tickets are available online, and we look forward to coming together. Also with Suzhou, could you say a little bit about Suzhou and how they've been involved with this? Because we had a delegation that came to visit, and it's really inspiring. Sometimes, you know, you have these collaborations that are surprising.
Me again? Suzhou is a beautiful city. I think we got very lucky that we didn't do it in Beijing, we didn't do it in Shanghai, but we went to Suzhou, a place that's so beautiful. You guys, anybody who wants to go to China has to go to Suzhou to see, you've been there, right? Oh.
I have dreams.
It has everything beauty, everything about beauty. And they have beautiful homes built by scholars or retired officials. And then the building has lots of history and very beautifully done, and with their beautiful gardens, and they have embroidery, and their food is out of this world. What else? And also, if you go to the Met Museum here, they have a garden that is built by the Suzhou workers. They came here and put the garden together. So anyway, I have a beautiful book at home. I can lend it to anybody who wants to read it. And
okay, you can take her up on that at the reception. I think time is getting a little short, and we have one more treat for you all. But please give a big hand to these visionaries. He's here. He's in the back.
Is the other singer here? Oh, okay. Come on down.
See,
come
we're
on down.
trying to be dramatic. This is.
Shall I?
Yes. Come. Let's.
Who are you?
I thought 10 already told you guys that.
Martha's going to.
Well, I'm going to introduce, this is a young man whom we met in 2016.
No, I think it's
2015.
2015,
2015?
yeah.
Ah.
That's when I did the
So when he came to our program in 1915, 2015. Before he was born. Anyway, 2015, and he came to our program. I so remember him, you know, the size, you know, look, Tian standing next to him. And, but he didn't know a sound. He didn't know how to sing at all. And so he was planning, his mother told me, he was planning to study literature, right?
Yeah.
Studied literature. Then he changed his mind. He wanted to sing. So when he came to our program, he really knew nothing. But we put him on stage. I just watched him. He was just following all the other men. You know, wherever they go, he would go. But he didn't know what to do. He was totally, what do you call it? A rookie? Is that such a word? Anyway, but one of our faculty, who is Michael Sylvester, who's a very famous tenor, who sang at the Met many years, and he's now a teacher. And so he is a faculty of our program, and he came to me one day, he said, I would like to bring this kid to my university. And I said, sure. And so, 2017, he went to Wichita University and studied there. And then he came and he told me, I don't know whether I should tell your secret. Anyway, he decided secretly to fly to New York and apply for Manhattan School of Music. Because he told me, he said, I've learned so much at Wichita, I really want to go to New York. So he secretly, without letting me know, without letting his mother know, and he flew here, took the audition, and went back to Wichita, and then he got it. $35,000 scholarship. He came to Manhattan School of Music and studied with James Morris, another big name in opera world, a bass. So, and then he graduated. And when he graduated, he also won the Metropolitan National Council audition, which is 1 out of 5. He was in the final. So, and then now he is in the Metropolitan Young Artist Program. So. Okay. And also, I just want to have one short introduction of our pianist, wherever she is. Her name, Hong Hong, and she was also with our iSING. I forgot what year, not 19, 2017, 18, 19. Anyway, and she just got into Manhattan School of Music as a graduate student. So we're very happy to have her here.
Should we say a few words about iSING?
Yeah. Do you want to say a few words about iSING?
And then I'm going to, very brief.
Actually, before that, I want to say special thank you to William Guanbo. During my audition, secret audition at MSM, he actually let me to stay in his apartment for 3 days. I want to say special thank you. I still remember when I did the audition. Actually, that's my first audition ever I've ever done in my life, with trembling legs, and because by the time I stepped on stage, I saw a huge guy sitting in the middle with a beard. Tian Laoshi is Mr. Tian. He was with a beard, and I was terrified. So, and after the audition, I thought I'm cooked. So, and thank you so much for trusting me and believing me. And really, I mean, without iSING, I would not be here. I won't be here, and I won't even be in United States. And those long journey won't happen at all. So I really want to say thank you to iSING and Martha and Tian Laoshi for actually creating this bridge, which is the best gift I can ever receive. Before 30. So, thank you.
So, some of you would know that the president and CEO of the Asia Society is Kevin Rudd, the Honorable Kevin Rudd, who wanted to be with us tonight. He's Australian. You probably knew that. But maybe he is here in some way. Spirit is here. I could feel it.
大家好，李白，静夜思。床前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头望明月，低头思故乡。
And just for those of you who didn't actually catch all of that, Quiet Thoughts by Night by Li Bai. Glistens like frost. I look up and see the moon. I look down and pine for home.
疑是地上霜，举头望明月，低头思故乡。 床前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头望明月。 低头思故乡。
传说。举头望明月，低头思故乡。望明月，思故乡。思故乡。故乡。
That's so beautiful, and it's so wonderful to hear you in this space. I just want to take 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about the Asia Society, and then I invite you to come up to the reception. But I feel like tonight's program is exactly what the Asia Society was built for, which is connecting across cultures, to think about shared future and the idea that by understanding each other more broadly, by understanding Asia and in a global context. And the Asia Society, as many of you would know, has a think tank side. So of course we look at policy and we think about all of the kinds of discourse that's going on across the globe. But we also are an educational institution, and we are a cultural institution with a museum. And I encourage you all to see our current exhibition, Mirror Image, which is about contemporary art from China. And it will be up through the end of the year. And I encourage you to become a member of the Asia Society and join us. I think that we're a unique institution. There are other institutions that are cultural, and there are institutions that are policy, but there are very few that come together or that have an Australian president who speaks Chinese. But that's not the reason to join. But seriously, I think in the times that we live in, my work is culture as diplomacy, and I look at diplomacy as all the ways that we connect. And tonight was all about connection and the great ways that music can bring us together. And to see everyone singing together in the video, in the documentary, I mean, you didn't really need, it said it all. It said it all. And everything that came with it were reverberations, whether that was the food or the laughter or bringing your own songs to down the hall. And I really mean it. Martha and Tian, your work is so important, and everyone should go to the concert. January 6th. Don't forget. Anyway, thank you all for being here. January 7th. Do forget the 6th. 6th is in Philadelphia. January 7th here in New York. Please join us upstairs for a reception and a chance to get to talk to each other. And thank you all for coming.